Welcome to A Shot of Ag. My name is Rob Sharkey. I'm a fifth-generation farmer from just outside of Bradford, Illinois. Agriculture, farming, obviously what I love. They say one of the hardest parts is actually getting into it. If you're going to be a farmer, then you had to have farmers as parents. Well, our next guest is going to prove us wrong. Today we're talking with Amber Bauman from Woodstock, Illinois. How you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
Yeah. First of all, where is Woodstock in the great state of Illinois?
We're the far northwest suburbs of Chicago.
Okay. Is that where you're from originally?
No, I'm from Crystal Lake.
Which is, again, a suburb, right?
Yeah, just east of Woodstock, yeah.
So, somewhat the same?
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you did not grow up on a farm, correct?
No, my parents had 2 acres, and we just enjoyed being kids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 2 acres is enough to get in trouble.
A lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had bees, and my brother cut his finger off with an axe one time, and no one was home. He tried putting it on with a Band-Aid.
Where the hell was this in my notes? You tried putting it back with a Band-Aid?
He tried putting it back on with a Band-Aid.
Were you there?
No, we weren't home because I was kicked in the head by a horse, and they had to put part of my ear back on. My poor mom.
My producer wife didn't get any of this stuff. Finger missing, kicked in the head by a horse.
Yeah, you know, all the things that.
And you had bees. Were they like a beehive or just random bees that you found?
No, my dad
and
and brother have honeybees. In fact, they have hundreds of hives, and they're all big into bee farming now.
Did they put the finger? Is the finger back, or
the finger's back? The finger's back.
You
Looks
put it on
great.
ice?
Well, it was hanging on by skin. I think I missed. I was young.
Because you were kicked in the head.
Yeah, I was.
Were you knocked out?
Well, I don't remember much, so I'm assuming yes. Like, isn't.
How much time we got left in this interview?
There's a lot of layers.
Okay, where were we? All right, so
Yes.
you did not grow up on a farm.
No.
Where did you get that itch to be in agriculture?
Well, I loved horses.
Yeah.
You know, it's a disease and there's no cure. And I
Yeah.
think my mom always hoped I'd outgrow it, and here I am, and I never outgrew it. So I talked my husband into buying a farm with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd you meet your husband?
I was the single school teacher. He was the single police officer.
It's a Hallmark movie, isn't it?
It is.
Did you have an ex-boyfriend there that was still trying to win your heart,
Yeah,
but you
kind of.
knew it just wasn't
Yeah,
going to work
yeah,
out?
kind of, yeah.
Something about that police
Yeah.
officer.
Yeah, he's my,
Okay. Did he have a choice to get a farm?
No, please, no. You're married, you know,
Okay.
no.
I know. My wife wanted horses. I kept getting her pregnant. And then I realized at some point it's cheaper to get the horse.
Maybe, I don't know. My husband might
It's
question
close.
that.
It is close, I'll tell you
He
that.
might question that.
Okay, so where did you find a farm?
In Woodstock. So I lived in Crystal Lake. My husband lived in Harvard. Woodstock's in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's where we found our little farm.
Okay, just you were looking for one, I assume.
Yeah, I needed someplace. I needed a she shed.
Okay. And this, you start out with the horses.
Yes.
And you're good at horses, right?
I think so, yeah.
So
couple national titles. I think I kind of know what I'm doing.
Okay, I'm ignorant on
Okay.
horses, so I'm going to ask a lot of dumb questions.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Ask away.
So are you good at like breeding them or training them or what?
All the things. All the things. So we breed some, we train some, we show some, we sell some, all the things in between. We feed them, we clean up after them. You know, a fun 4-H fact, horses poop 50 pounds of poop a day.
50 pounds? That's it's a weighty issue, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of poop.
Load of crap.
Yeah. God. You don't put all this on there, too. Please say you cut out sections. My poor mom is watching.
Nobody watches, don't worry. Yeah. Your mom and my mom, that's about it. Okay, so what kind of horses are they? Quarter horses? What? I don't know.
Well, I started in order to afford life because a school teacher doesn't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I started taking horses off the racetrack that were done racing, and I would turn them into riding horses.
Aren't they high strung though?
They're emotional.
Is that what it is?
They're emotional.
Will they chase the rabbit around the thing? Is that what it is?
That's a dog.
Well, they're
That's a
emotional
dog.
too,
Yeah,
aren't
they are,
Yeah.
right? No, horses just, yeah. And a good racehorse learns to be slow, so they get off the track pretty fast. At least that's the joke with show people.
Oh, it's a joke.
Yeah, because they get treated the same. You could be the winning horse, or you could be the slowest horse, and you get treated the same. Like, it would make sense.
A horse is competitive, right? If you have a horse running next to another horse, it's like, no, I'm gonna.
Well, they're kind of like people, right? Some
Yeah.
people like to be fast. Some people like to just be like, oh, whatever. I'm just gonna give a C- effort for the day, and
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, they have personalities.
Okay, so but those were the cheap horses.
Inexpensive, never cheap.
That's a great point. Okay.
Inexpensive.
So
yeah.
what were you doing with them?
So I would train them, and I would teach them to be a show horse or a pleasure horse, or just give them an opportunity for another career and for me to make some money.
Okay.
And then I would do that. And then I happened to fall into one that I really liked, and I bred her.
The thoroughbred.
A thoroughbred.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Racehorse.
I was like, oh, I want to have a foal from her, which that costs a lot of money.
Why?
It's just really expensive. Well, they're pregnant for 11 months, 11 days. So you have to feed that mom that whole entire time.
Oh.
And then you've got the baby for 4 months, and there's a lot.
Okay.
But then I bred her, had a foal, and then I decided to have children myself. So I decided to sell her. And then this random lady from Arizona said, I want to buy your horse. Here's a deposit. We'll be in touch. I want to breed her to this, open up this world to these colored thoroughbreds. And
All right. Whoa.
yeah, it gets deep.
I don't understand a colored thoroughbred.
So when you watch like the Kentucky Derby on TV, because we all watch that, right?
Yeah.
Or we see it
I
on
like
the
to
news
wear
or
the
whatever.
hats.
Yeah, all the hats,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's brown horses and black horses and gray horses.
Okay.
Well, there's a whole different area of colored horses, colored thoroughbreds. There's white ones and palomino and buckskin, and they're super rare.
Really?
So they are, yeah.
Oh, that's all I see.
Yeah. Are brown ones, yeah. You see brown horses. There's lots of brown horses.
I'm gonna be quiet now. Okay, please continue.
Okay, so thank you. Again, I teach 6th grade. You have to have a sense of humor when you teach 6th grade.
You think you'd be able to talk to me then, if you could handle 6th graders?
Yeah, I can. See, I think I'm doing just fine. So this woman out in Arizona contacted me. I want to breed to this thoroughbred stallion that was in Michigan. He's prolifically colored, has these white thoroughbreds.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, cool. She mailed me a check. The check cleared. And then I never heard from her again. Like she disappeared.
Scammer?
Well, this was before like internet really and scamming and stuff.
okay.
So her check had cleared. I had her money.
Oh, okay.
So I contacted this person who owned the stallion and decided to breed the mare myself. And lo and behold, I had a white thoroughbred who ended up being Illinois' first all-white thoroughbred, perfectly requested. We called her Phoebe because all my horses have to have human names, like they cannot.
You watched Friends, didn't you?
No, I did not. I
Oh.
never got into that. Can you
Okay.
believe that?
No.
So, I
right.
just never got into it. 90210, different story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are we at, Phoebe? All right.
So Phoebe,
First all-white
yeah,
horse
first
in Illinois.
all-white thoroughbred in Illinois. For a hot second, we were like, oh, let's put her on the racetrack. So we trained her. She did some work at Arlington Park when Arlington Racetrack in Arlington Heights was
Yeah.
a thing. Did nothing but really scare a bunch of other horses because they're not. When they're white, they are white. They're
Okay.
not gray. They're not light. They're white with pink skin.
Oh, the other horses didn't like it?
No, they get scared of them.
Are they racist?
Wow.
You ever thought about that?
Actually, they've done studies and they are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Huh.
Yeah.
Who would have known? You thought a horse, relax, eat some hay stuff. No,
They're
aggressive.
emotional, remember?
Yeah.
I told you, they're emotional. So after I brought her home, turned her into a show horse, and then my girlfriend, who's a painter down in Southern Illinois, was like, hey, Amber, they're looking for some white thoroughbreds in Hollywood. I hope you don't mind. I told them to contact you. I said, well, I don't know if I want to sell Phoebe. This is how this stuff happens. No one believes me until they actually hear the story. It really happens this way. So then I got contacted by, they call them wranglers out there.
Yeah.
They train the horses, whatever. So they flew in. They decided, yes, we want her, offered money for her. And so then she ended up being one of 5 that made silver in the Lone Ranger. In
So 5
Johnny
horses
Depp's.
that look the same.
Correct.
Okay, I'll watch it. It was a good movie. It says Johnny Depp, right?
It's terrible. I hated the movie. I was like, this is awful. I can't believe I sold my horse for this. But whatever. Whatever. It's kind of cool, right? She was in the movie.
We all have different opinions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It takes all kinds to make the world go round. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
How can you hate the movie when your horse was in it, right?
Because it was a terrible movie. I'm not a Johnny Depp fan. Sorry.
He's a little nutty, isn't he?
He's just not my cup of tea.
He's a cup of something.
Not mine, yeah.
Okay. So your horse did make the cut. It was in the movie.
So she was the horse running on the train. If you remember the
Oh,
movie,
yeah.
there was a horse running on the train. That was my horse.
That's super
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so that's her claim to fame.
It really wasn't running on a horse or a train,
No,
was it?
no,
Yeah.
no.
CGI and all that stuff.
That's beyond me.
That's
I have
Hollywood
no idea.
stuff.
Yeah, you would know more than me. Yeah.
Okay. That's
Yeah, so that
really
was kind of cool.
exciting.
That was cool. That was fun.
Did you get to go out to the?
No, we had our own little premiere. You know, Woodstock, Illinois has this quaint little square and has a really fabulous movie theater.
Yeah.
And so we did a little red carpet affair there, you know, with friends. And
For a movie
family.
that you didn't like.
No, but it was my horse. Like, come on.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had her, and then I continued breeding these white thoroughbreds. Had a different one that I named her Sonia, but her name was My Sweetest Downfall. Sold her to a trainer in Kentucky, and she raced her at Churchill Downs, which
So
was
these things
super
are
cool.
desired
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because of the look.
Yeah, when we were in the paddock and the announcer said, well, the program says that this horse is white, but I'll believe it when I see it because there aren't very many white thoroughbreds. And my horse came in and he goes, this horse is white. She's definitely white.
Yeah.
So I was in the paddock with her, which was super cool. Got to bring my parents, which was super cool. Then, of course, the little girl in me goes running up to the front because I had to bet on my horse. Go running up to the front to watch her run, and as we're waiting, some stranger lady next to me says, oh, who'd you bet on? And I said, oh, one of that I particularly like. I go, who'd you bet on? And she goes, well, I like this one's name, My Sweetest Downfall. I go, that's mine, that's mine, that's who I bet on. She wasn't a very good racehorse, which is okay.
Yeah.
So she got off the track pretty fast, but it was
But
cool.
I mean, Churchill Downs, you can't just let some slum horse in there.
Well, I suppose you could. It's
Yeah.
a pay to play. No, but to be at, Churchill Downs, that
Yeah.
was kind of a cool thing for
That's
me.
very cool.
Yeah. So the Department of Ag got used to coming out, the Illinois Department of Ag got used to coming out and seeing these prolifically colored thoroughbreds then because the Illinois breeders program that we have, you have to have them inspected. And so we had
Why?
so that they are what we say they are, I guess.
Well, you can't tell? Is it kind of, okay, I'm trying to put it in terms that maybe a dimwit like myself would understand.
Okay.
So you buy a registered Labrador Retriever.
Right.
Right? And you have the exact same dog over there doesn't have papers.
Right.
Is that what we're kind of talking about?
Maybe. The Illinois Department of Ag has their rules about the incentives that they offer for breeding thoroughbreds. So that was just the rule. Dave Noby had to come in and inspect my horses to make sure. They weren't always white. Sometimes they were brown. Sometimes they were black. Sometimes they were, palomino or gray. But we always had fun.
Yeah. So it's a mystery until they're born.
Correct.
Okay. So when they hit the white one, you're like, woohoo.
Well, I really liked it. They're terrible to keep clean. Imagine,
Yeah.
a farm animal that's white.
But how much poop do they have a day?
And 50
Like
pounds
50
of poop. And then
pounds,
if they're
yeah.
with their mom, multiply that times 2. Yeah, it's a lot of poop.
I don't want to get too far before I recognize your item on the desk here.
Yes. Yeah, my crazy Barbie.
I would agree with that. What's the story with her?
Well, we've all seen the movie Barbie, and Crazy Barbie saves a
I have
day.
not seen the movie.
And you need to go rent it now.
I will watch it when you admit that the Lone Ranger was an okay film.
Well, it made some money, I suppose, so I guess it's okay. I don't know. Crazy Barbie.
Trailer Park Barbie here.
She saves a day. That's actually, she's vintage. She's from the 80s. From the 19s. So if you've seen the movie Crazy Barbie, you look at her and you're like, oh my God, everybody has a crazy Barbie. Everybody has a crazy Barbie. Yeah. And I hated Barbies as a little girl. Hated them. I was probably very mean to her.
She's missing a toe or two.
Her hairline, like all the things. Like, look at her.
You could tell this one was an older one because it was still, that's a body that's never made in nature.
Sure. Sure. How am I supposed to answer that? Sure. Yeah, but Crazy Barbie saves the day in the movie. So, but she just solves all the problems, and she's super smart, and she's ingenious, and all the things, you know? She's just amazing. So she sits on my dresser in my room because you can do, a woman can do anything.
Absolutely.
A woman can do anything.
Did I miss a part where you said why you brought this?
Because she resembles me, I guess. I mean, that's kind of what my hair looks like in the morning, not gonna lie. Like, yikes. But she just does everything and anything, and you ask her questions and she can solve them. She just figures it out.
Yeah. I don't know you that well. We interviewed you on the XM show, and then today. You seem extremely creative and passionate. Is that fair to say?
Definitely very fair, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, even though you might wake up with a crazy hair like that, it's people that can realize how to harness that uniqueness and harness, maybe their creativity into something very special. That's when you bet on a winner.
Yeah. Well
to
said.
put it into
yeah.
racing terms.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I don't
even know what I just said.
I don't either. So we're just gonna roll with it. How do
interview.
They like?
This is one of the shows we
they're
put up
probably
for an award.
laughing back there.
It's funny. We've never won an award, but this might be the one.
Well, hey, there's a first time for everything.
Okay.
Like, look, I'm here, right?
Yeah.
First time to be on a interview like this.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be the last too.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow, that was kind of harsh.
Moving on. You teach.
Yes.
Did you always want to be a teacher?
Since first grade. Mm-hmm.
Really? Since you were a little kid, you knew what you wanted to do?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
What was your first grade teacher's name?
She's on my Facebook, Mrs. Leonard. So shout out to
alive?
Mrs. Leonard. She's still alive. We had lunch last summer. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She was Miss Ecker when I had her, so she wasn't even married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And she always stuck me in a row with a really naughty kid named Mike Keenan, who has forever scarred me.
Well, it's on purpose, right? You stick the naughty kid next to the good girl. That's what they always did to me.
Oh, so you were the naughty kid.
Well, yeah.
Oh, imagine.
You're teaching 6th grade math.
Yes.
Just math?
Well, this year I was resolved to a 6th grade math teacher.
Okay. What do you, just addition, subtraction, division, multiplication? No algebra?
No, we have algebra and geometry.
In 6th grade?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. State standards, man, because I'm sure every day you use a squared plus b squared equals c squared in everything you do.
So use who now? I've never had to determine the height of a flagpole by the shadow of the. I've never had to do that stuff, but I did it.
But you did it in school,
Yeah.
right? It taught you critical thinking.
It taught me how to cheat off the girl I had to sit by because.
Fair. Fair.
What are you seeing in schools? Because I mean, I'm sure you hear all the bad stuff, right? Punks, they're all brats and all that stuff. What's your take?
Kids are kids.
Yeah.
And apple trees make apples, and apples don't fall far from the tree.
Ah.
Yeah. So you can pretty much show what a kid's home life is like by how they behave in school.
It's sad though.
It is. So like with me, when I was teaching in an urban school, kids that they thought I came from another planet.
Yeah.
Because I lived on a farm. So I definitely was like the Jetsons, I think, where the UFO kind of went off and I came into school every day. They really saw me as that.
Yeah. Do you enjoy it?
I love it. I love it. I mean, it's exhausting, but I love it.
Yeah. All right. Here's something we've never talked about before. Papayas. Mm-hmm. What? Okay.
So papaya is a superfood. You should be eating it every day. You love it, right?
I'm sure I've eaten papayas, right?
I don't know. Have you?
I went to Jamaica once, right? Do they grow them down there?
Well, they kind of taste like blah pumpkin. So it's not like you would put it out and be like, hey, here's a dish of,
Blob pumpkin stuff.
yeah. But it's a superfood.
But people eat them, right? Like
Oh,
as
yeah,
an orange
yeah.
or a banana?
No, you have to peel them like a cantaloupe. You know, you have to cut off the edge.
They put them in drinks, right?
I don't know
Like
what
a
you're
papaya
drinking.
daiquiri or something like that?
You're thinking of mango. I don't.
You might be correct. Okay. Papayas. So what do you do with them?
So they're a superfood. They're great for stomach and skin and all the things. So we have a small business that is getting too big for me too quickly, but we puree it, and it's excellent for horse ulcers. Horses get ulcers really easily. Like
Do they?
96% of all performance horses get ulcers. So
Because they're emotional.
well, some are emotional, just the stress we put them in.
Yeah.
You know, their eating habits aren't what we do as humans for them.
Yeah.
So the papaya actually helps to ease and naturally heal the ulcers, and it's a great product because you can spend a ton of money on the medicines for horses for ulcers, but the papaya is a natural route, and it's easier and it's cheaper. And it doesn't just work on horses, it works on my bulldogs with their awful skin.
They work on people.
It works on people.
Does it really?
My oldest son was born with an issue with his pyloric valve, wouldn't stay open. So they went in and they surgically opened it. And so then since then, Adam as an adult has suffered from, like acid reflux and like lots of bad tummy stuff. So I said, if I make this for you, will you just try it? And he's like, okay, Mom. Yeah, okay, Mom. And he did, and he ended up, he's like, this is great. He can eat pizza where he couldn't eat a lot.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of stuff he couldn't tolerate before, he can now tolerate. So I'm telling you, papaya is an amazing superfood.
But you said this is a company that's getting too big for you to even handle.
Well, because I'm a one-man band, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I teach school, and I have the farm,
Well,
and
quit
all
that.
the things.
Quit the school.
I know.
You
I
could be
know.
the papaya queen of the suburbs. I don't know.
Sure, yeah, sure. And actually, a lot of my stuff is ships all over, so it's not just the burbs.
Do
People buy in a 30-day supply, and
Do they know about this? I've never heard this before.
about papaya.
Papayas being
Oh, it's
curing
so,
ulcers and stuff.
Yeah, it's so good for you. Well, you have Google on your phone, so when you're
Yeah, that's a reliable source.
When you're
You ever
doing-
go on a WebMD?
yes,
I have a slight
have.
headache. Oh, you have leprosy.
Yeah, it's better than my blue book I had when I was a kid. Yeah.
So not going to grow with the papaya.
What do you mean I'm not going to grow?
You
I'm-
sound like you're.
Yeah, no, I need to continue. It's just it's expanding faster than I ever thought it was going to. So I've employed my children to help me puree papaya to get it shipped
labor.
out. Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need you to do this right now because otherwise, I don't know, I'll take your car away.
You seem very real to me. You seem like. Well, I tell you why. It's because the boots you're wearing. It's just like those are the boots that you probably are avoiding the horse poop with.
Yeah, I don't step in the horse poop with these, but not to say that they haven't inadvertently stepped in horse poop.
Well, you kind of have to,
Well,
right? At some
poop
point.
happens. I mean,
You should put that on a bumper sticker.
I think Forrest Gump did.
What don't people know about raising horses? Because everybody thinks it's so easy. You have a horse, you give it some hay, and
Oh, there's a lot. They have a whole staff. Horses don't have just a family; they have a staff.
Yeah.
There's grooms and vets and chiropractor and massage therapists and acupuncture and the horseshoer and
Yeah, which is
You name
why
it.
basically you should never get a horse. Amber, if people want to find you or anything about you, where would they go?
I'm on Facebook. Valley View Acres is our barn page. We're in Woodstock, and we also have a YouTube channel.
Okay. Amber Bauman from Woodstock. I really enjoy getting to know you. I love people who are passionate about what they're doing. And I love when people have that passion and actually do something about it. You can tell you are an incredibly hard worker. You can tell you're incredibly intelligent at what you're getting into. And yet you still have the passion to be a teacher. So, I mean, you're an all around good person, and there's not that many of you in the world. So thank you.
Thank you.
The hell is that?
Hello, it's a heart.
Talk to the hand. Catch everybody next week.